Hello, Thomas, Olivier. How are you going?
Excellent.
Great. Nice to have you. Yeah, good to have you on this panel. And between me and Thomas, we have been doing this series for a long time. In the last session, when I was talking to Thomas, Thomas suggested that we should have another guest. And he suggested your name, Olivier, because you have a great personality. You have been doing great jobs. So I'd like to hear about you and also Thomas, and we can have a small intro about each other. And yeah, over to you, Oliver. Talk if you can share something about you.
Yeah, so I'm Olivier Lazar. As you can hear in the accent, I'm French, born and raised in Paris. But I lived for 10 years in Switzerland. Now I'm based in US on the East Coast. And yeah, what I do is consultancy and education in project program and portfolio management, doing organizational consultancy, organizational transformations, enabling, I would say, organizations to better deliver value through a leaner structure, lighter structure, and a more efficient one. And also then developing competences, running seminars on program management, project management, portfolio management, organizational transformation. I'll be launching one very shortly in the next coming days, even now. And writing, researching, also speaking at conferences for PMI chapters or others. And that's what I do, I would say, professionally for the past something like 20 years. And I do also a lot of volunteering with PMI. I'm sitting currently on the board of directors of the PMI Educational Foundation, which is very dear to my heart and to my purpose, because what we do is preaching project management overall as a life skill. Because basically, what you need to do, whatever you will be doing, will be project based. And it will be more and more the case as we evolve, as the technology evolves, as we have to respond to a continuously changing environment.
Great, thank you. Thomas?
Well, yeah, I'm a volunteer since 22 years for PMI and a member since almost 30 years now. And I know Olivier since 15 years from the ranks of our PMI network. So he had several positions and roles, and I had several positions and roles. And that's a good thing with being in the network of PMI. You meet people every year, you know, and you are friends, and only the good things are left over, and we develop a relationship and some trust. And so I asked Olivier if he would be interested to join the discussion, Dharam, which is pivoting around the topic of program management, PgMP. And all three of us, we are PgMPs, and we are not only PgMPs by title, but by, I would say, by mindsets. You know, we are trying to help organizations to provide the value and the benefits, and that's a core part of a program manager. And many people don't understand this, so it's our task in this kind of discussions, I think, to convey that message that program management is something special, and it's quite worthwhile to get certified in it. So the certification is a tough one. You know, we have over 1 million PMPs, but we have only 3,100 PgMPs, or what's this? It's a harder certification, and it's not so recognized on the market as it is. But you know, I think really it is the guys who are PgMPs, they really make a difference in their organizations.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So a little bit about myself. My name is Dharam Singh, and I have been training PgMPs and PfMP professionals or aspirants and PMPs, of course, for a long time now. So I have contributed to the success of many professionals via my mentoring programs and via virtual programs, and now and also physical programs. So this topic, you know, the program management is really part of me. Now it's looks like it's gone in my DNA. So whenever somebody, even you wake me up in the night, and say, Dharam, what's PgMP? I can still talk about that for at least 1 hour or maybe more. So, just a little background for myself. I was born in India, lived my 1/4 life in India. Then I moved to Australia. So I lived my 2nd quarter in Australia. So last year I moved to United States. So hopefully my next quarter in the United States, I don't know my 4th quarter, what I will be doing. But anyway, so I'm living in quarters. But by the way, I'm not an alcoholic person. I don't believe in alcohol, but I still believe in quarters.
So maybe you will have in the end 6 quarters.
6 quarter, you never know. Maybe with thanks to my yoga, involvement in yoga, that may take me a little more than.
And as a program manager, PgMP, one thing is there. You have a target at the beginning, but you are quite willing to extend the target if it is beneficial.
Exactly. So one thing is long life is good, but I want to have a great life and want to help out as many people as I can. And say the reason we are together today is because we have something common here within us, other than having PMP, PgMP, or other certification. These certifications, of course, bring us together. But more important thing is we all are passionate to give back, to help others. So one way or others, we are by volunteering to PMI or by going around with Olivier's, you're going around and helping companies. So we are helping organizations. We are helping professionals to achieve what their potential is, to get to their potential. So I'm fortunate to have you both of you on this panel, and once again, thank you. And so today I like to talk about a very burning topic, which almost everyone in the world is impacted. Some of them are really suffering because they are going through the pain of the disease. They are losing their loved ones. So that's a very unfortunate situation. But other thing is also happening around the world, like, in industries or organizations are suffering because of this unknown period. We don't know when this is going to finish and what's going to happen after 2 months, 3 months time, or 4 months time, when the impact of COVID will go away. A lot of companies start letting their staff go and other things. So I thought we'll talk about COVID-19 and impact of COVID on our day-to-day project program life, portfolio manager life, and how the certification, doing it now can help them to be more ready for the unknown period, which we don't know what's going to happen. In our project management terms, we call unknown. But this unknown is actually happening now. Olivier, I'd like to know your thoughts, please.
So what is happening here, as you very well said it, it's an unknown. How do we react to that? We don't react to that by trying to keep the usual stuff we're doing going on and preserving everything we had before, because this not going to happen. But one thing which we have to preserve, we have to work on preserving, is the value we create for stakeholders, the benefits we generate for organizations, for the clients of organizations, and for the community at large. And generating value, creating benefits is exactly what program management is about. Every single organization, from the largest multinational corporation to the smallest bakery at the corner of the street, is now going through a transformation. And the question is not, how do I keep doing what I was doing? The question is, how do I keep generating the value I was generating? And guess what? The toolkit which will allow you to move from your previous state of having a certain value generation model, which is now outdated, and guess what? It will not come back. Moving to the new state of generating that value, or even more, in a different way, this toolkit is program management. Program management is what creates change in an organization. Project management doesn't create change. Project management creates the triggers for the change. But what integrates these triggers within the organization, what allows the organization to absorb these triggers and exploit them in order to generate benefits, develop new capabilities, and move forward in change, this is program management. So more and more organizations will be in need of qualified, knowledgeable program managers. And definitely, if there is one way you can prove that you are actually capable of doing it, is to be a PgMP. Because there is a very important difference in terms of certification between, for example, PMP and PgMP. Why do we have 1 million something PMPs and a couple of 3,000, I haven't checked the figures recently, but 3,500 PgMPs? Is because the PMP is a knowledge-based credential. You have to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about. The PgMP is a competency-based credential, which is rather different. You have not only to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about, but you also have in front of a panel of peers to demonstrate that you have applied this, and not only applied, but applied it successfully. So the two of you went through this panel review thing, and you know that it's not a nice experience. So you rather have to demonstrate why you didn't do things this way more than demonstrating why you did things that way. Okay, so it's really a competency demonstration which you have with the certification. And I think that the value of this type of competency-based certification will expand.
Perfect.
Expand. I am a trainer, and now the question which I ask myself is not how do I keep doing trainings? That's not the right question. The question is how do I manage to keep enhancing the competences of the people who entrust me with their willingness to enhance those competences? How do I allow them to do that within the current situation, knowing that in-person training is not an option anymore?
Yeah. Perfect.
And you know what? I'm running a program about this.
Okay. So the value you are providing, Olivier, as I understood, is that you still enable people to change the way how they are working, their behavior, their understanding, but you do it in different ways. But the value, the benefit is similar to before, but the ways how to get there. So the projects you are doing are totally different. You have different projects now than you had before, but the program is somehow the same because
Yes.
the target is the same.
And I would go even further than that. When we look at the overall governance of an organization, strategic management, portfolio management, program management, project management, operation management, management, whatever you name it, all of that are just different layers of one single underlying framework, which is aimed at creating value. This is what we call simply value management. What we all have to do in any organization is to generate that value. Is not to make money, is not to gain market shares, is not to make profits, is not to increase the value of the share. All of these things are actually consequences of your ability to generate value. What we do is not project management, is not program management, is not portfolio management, is not strategy management, it's value management. And we're lucky, there are even specific formal definitions of what value management is. And when you look at the definition of value management from the Value Management British Standard, for example, it's clearly stated that it's an innovativeness and creative process. So finding ways to deliver benefits and value, that's what we have to do. And the closest thing we have to manage that value delivery is the layer of program management.
Great, thank you. Thank you. And Thomas, your thoughts around
COVID-19? Yeah, I think, I don't call it a crisis. It's a big disruption, a global disruption. And disruption is, for me, a neutral thing. A disruption has change inherited, but the change could be positive or negative, both. You have threats and you have opportunities. And if you look at the opportunities, a lot of companies are now benefiting even from that disruption. Companies in the healthcare sector, companies producing masks, also they are really making huge profits now. And there are even, the mafia is producing lots of profits out of that, because all the rules and checks and balances are not in place yet, to make sure the money goes to the right sections. So there are people who are really having a fortune now, but also, as you said in the beginning, there are people who are suffering personally because of the health of their family. So that's, for them, it's a crisis. And I think, as a project manager and as a program manager, we have to understand where is our role, where can we help in this crisis. So first, it's to tackle these threats and to defend ourselves against the threats, but also to grasp the opportunities that are opening. So understand where we are, which are the opportunities, look out, sense the environment and see what you can do. And that's what you did, Olivier. You said, okay, I cannot do any in-class training, so what can I do? Still, the people out there, they now even might have more time to sit in a training education. So how can I attract them to me? That was the thinking behind that. But beyond that, even, if you look at the near future, let's say the next half year, we have these threats and opportunities that come at hand. What we also give these people is let's say a midterm future. So we show them not only how they can survive, but how they can sustain their lives and the lives of their community. It will be a change, but we show them a vision which is maybe half a year long, and what can you do in the next half year? And actually, a lot of governments are doing that. They are telling them, okay, the curve of the infections, and we're doing this and that, and it's a half-year time frame. What they're telling the people, this is how it will go, and some are being left out. So in Germany, for instance, the restaurants, they don't know when it will happen, but that's the next thing. They will given a time frame. They will given some steps to do. For them, it's also a vision how to survive for the next half year. And then what we need to do, beyond that immediate vision and short-term time frame, we really need to establish a vision. How does the world look like in 2 or 3 years, and even beyond that? And it will not look like today, or it looked like half a year ago. So this is the other thing, establish something that people can be secure. This will be the journey we are going on in the next 3 years. There will be some ups and downs, but this will be the journey. So that's my thinking. We have the immediate task to help people to grasp the opportunities and threats. We have to show a midterm vision, but also we have to show them the long-term vision, so they stay with us and they are positive. Because I just read a survey, and they asked, am I suicidal? Do I feel bad? Have I nightmares or whatever? And I answered that, no, not at all. I'm quite positive personally. And I think, nevertheless, a lot of people have fear. And I know people who have fear. And it's our task as a project manager, it always was as a program manager, to show security, to show the people hope, to show the people the positive future, because only then, they can go away from the fear and think again and help themselves.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Thomas, for your thoughts, and really interesting thoughts. So from my side, yes, a lot is going to change. Already changed, because the things we never thought would be possible for many organizations working from home. Yes, while the working from home is not a new concept, when I joined HP or even before, and early 2000s, this already started. But many organizations never thought this is possible with them. But because of this forced condition, they have to do it. And the challenge is how to still thrive as a company with all this remote working, people working in the different time zone and availability of network, connectivity, many things we have to think as a project manager, program manager. At the same time, we have to think about, emotional intelligence, what they're really going through. Some people are really worried. They don't have groceries at home. They don't have food at home. At the same time, they have to work as well. So, while we have to get results for the organization, and that's where we talk about value and project program management. But at the same time, when we are considering this kind of option of home working from home or managing projects in this environment program, we need to do a little more thought about, is the setup right with them? Is the person capable of working from home? And maybe they need some extra support. So these kind of things, as we go further, we will learn. And maybe because of lesson learned, which is part of our learning, and maybe because of somebody else doing a better way. So one thing I do see in the coming days, more and more companies are going to rely, of course, on the web conferencing, what we're doing now. And more and more companies are going to go for a tool which can bring them at a central, centralizing the information instead of having multiple systems, which is, you're doing great thing in Salesforce, a great thing in SAP. But if there's a tool or the platform which can bring everybody together in one place and available as a SaaS platform and cloud-based platform, that can be the one which can help most of the companies. And where the program management come in picture, project management, we need to make them enable those companies to transition from the current state to the future state. Because all we know at this stage, whatever happening now, it's likely to continue for next 3 months, maybe three years. Who knows? I hope this stops sooner rather than later. But as you mentioned, that life is going to change forever. It's already changed. And the way of working, which we have been doing, is also already changed and it's going to change more. So we have to be more adaptable. We have to be more remote. We should be able to have the flexibility in the time. And now we will be working more and more with international or maybe remote people. So, Olivier mentioned that having certification will actually prove, yes, of experience is a great thing, but having experience as a PgMP, PfMP, PMP will prove that you have experience and exposure to do large scale project program portfolio. And this is all about survival of fittest. If we remember the Darwin's theory, and sooner or later you start seeing, if it's not happening already, companies start laying many people off. And that will be big numbers. Maybe it's not one or two. We're talking about thousands of people in a day. They have to leave the company, or they will put for period of time with no pay. It's not that easy to survive, because and when a lot of people coming in the market for job, it will be your job will also get threatened, because if they get somebody at cheaper price, you're charging $150, $100 per hour. If somebody is there willing to do work at $50, $30, and it's possible, it's going to happen when people become desperate. They will do all kinds of things. So how can you still be relevant to the organization? Organization of course see the value, how much you're charging. At the same time, value for money. Yes, you're charging $150, $200 per day, per hour. Are you generating the value, or you are the person who continue to be part of the organization for long term and can keep adding value for the organization? So, and probably this is the right time to think about, if you never thought, having some certification.
Yeah, and I don't know, Thomas, if you remember Michael Porter speaking at the PMO conference in 2014, so some time ago already, where he was saying that competing on price is totally dumb, don't compete on price, because when you compete on price, guess what? There will always be someone who will be cheaper than you anyway. And competing on price is making a bet that your competitors will die by hunger before you do so. And maybe they will, but guess what? You will die by hunger too. So it's not that. It's really about your ability to generate value. And one very big difference about that between project and program management, for example, but portfolio management is on the same part of that continuum as program management. Project management is mainly about countering threats. We do something, we produce something to respond to a problem. In program management, the mindset, as Thomas was mentioning it, the mindset is very different. In program management, the mindset is about exploiting opportunities. You take the very same situation, and if you take it from a project management perspective, you will deliver something, usually tangible, that will counter that threat represented by the situation. If you take the situation from the standpoint of view, mindset, and perspective of a program manager, your role will be to take that element, that issue which has happened, and turn it into an opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's all about not only survival of the fittest, it's about resilience. It's about developing resilience for organizations. And this is really what at strategic levels organizations need now. I would say every single CEO should be a PgMP.
Yeah, probably you're right. And let me build on that. You know, you're saying that there is a buzzword term, you know, called the growth mindset. And I will use that because the growth mindset is the mindset of the program manager. While, you know, as a project manager, you have your defined scope and budget and time frame. And guess what? If a change comes in, you don't like it. You try to deflect it, or you try to minimize the impact of the change on your plan. And that's correct that you do that, because you are a project manager. You're going to deliver something that has been somehow predefined, you know. As a project manager is, as you say, Olivier, the opposite. You know, you're looking for changes because you will want to explore if these changes can even increase the benefits and the value of your program. And that's quite different mindset. And you know, yeah, there are a lot of terms going around, your growth mindset, agile, whatever, but it all has been there. Humanity has been adaptive for all the time, you know. So there was a volcano in Pompeii coming up. Guess what? These guys were adaptive to the situation. And we are able, and we are living as humanity so long because we are adaptive so long, you know. And I think we will be adaptive to the virus situation too, and to other situations. So yeah, there is a way of working we need now, and I think this way of working is be adaptive, change your strategy, have a growth mindset, and that's exactly what a program manager can provide.
Yeah, great. And I think Olivier did mention a very good point that each of the entrepreneur or a CEO should be looking to do some certification, not just for certified, but to learn from these, you know, the best practices collected by PMI in the form of the standard for project management, program management, portfolio management. So this will, you know, agile is great, but we still have to think about the strategy and value proposition and the benefit relation. So having these PgMP, PfMP, PMP will definitely add value to the senior leaders, but to the, you know, the middleman management, whoever into this position, who are taking the decision at this time.
And Dharam, I want to point out for me, it's not the sheet of paper which says I have a PgMP certificate. You know, for me, it's a process to get there, and this process develops in contrast to a PgMP. It develops competencies, not only knowledge. You know, you are able to understand how to apply this knowledge in specific situations. And that's very specific to that PgMP certification.
Yeah, the PgMP and the PfMP are this competency-based things. And I see very often people coming to me for advice and asking, hey, how do I preserve my business? And they're very disappointed when I say, actually, you don't. You don't. That's not the aim of the game now today. Now the aim of the game is to want not to preserve, but to sustain your business. Forget about your former business model. Develop a new one with having an aim at the value creation, the benefits you generate, and ask yourself, what are the capabilities I have to develop to generate these benefits and produce that value? Developing capabilities aimed at generating benefits to deliver a certain value for your stakeholders. It's a definition of management.
Great. Any last minute thoughts, Thomas? Anything else you'd like to say?
I think there's a lot of more to say, but I think the core thing is that I see a great future right now for the program management competency, and I think if you are a business, as you say, Olivier, and you cannot sustain what you did in the past, so you have to change, and how to change, that can be supported by program management.
Change or die.
Exactly. And thank you, Olivier and Thomas, for your very kind words and sharing what you believe in and how the future will be, can be better if you are ready. You change, you accept the change and grow in the change. So really, thank you for coming out for this small presentation. So we all are available. We all are available on the LinkedIn for anything we can help to anyone you're listening at the moment, whether for PgMP, PfMP, or for changing the organization, the mindset. That's where Olivier, Thomas, and we can help you guys. So yeah, please reach out to us, and please take care of yourself, your family, your community, and stay positive. And that's very, very important to stay positive. All right, guys. Anything else?
Thank you very much, Dharam. Thank you, Thomas, for inviting me. That's definitely an honor and a pleasure.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. Thanks for joining, Olivier, and thanks for Dharam for organizing that. And I think you will share the end product of our video today, and then let's think about the next sessions. Thank you very much, Dharam and Olivier.